What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Late night edition. I previously made a video called No One Cares About Donald Trump's Taxes. And this video is the sequel to that video titled No One Cares About Hunter Biden. Now, we're going to talk about Hunter Biden slightly, but really, we're going to talk about what we really care about here. And it's not Hunter Biden's exploits, but we got a clip. I'm actually curious, what is Andrew Yang saying at this particular moment? Because the concerns that I'm more interested in are more related to like the censorship piece of this. So we're going to play a clip from Fox News. It's a couple of minutes long, but it's community night here. We're going to go over a couple of topics, nothing super serious. Getting ready for tomorrow where we're going to have, I guess, feuding events. We have Trump doing a town hall. We have Biden doing a town hall at the same time, battling over ratings. Because if it's not votes, it's ratings. And if it's not ratings, it's money. It's really good to know where you stand in American politics. Political fodder. So here we go. Let's play the clip.
Breaking tonight, we are following two major stories. There are serious questions for Joe Biden this evening following the publication of emails allegedly belonging to his son Hunter that contradict or seem to the nominee's insistence the two never discussed business dealings with Ukraine. A cycle tradition of an October surprise possibly being fulfilled tonight by the allegation that Joe Biden may have had a meeting he has vehemently denied. The Biden campaign still denies it tonight, but emails allegedly from his son Hunter Biden say the meeting was at least being set up. This about Hunter Biden and a powerful Ukrainian businessman. We're looking into this story, but we have Fox team coverage tonight. Howard Kurtz tells us how social media is dealing with what many are saying, censoring this story. But first, senior political correspondent Mike Emanuel has the specifics. What do we know, Mike?
Well, Brett, good evening. An explosive story at a critical stage in this presidential campaign. Newly released emails allegedly from Joe Biden's son Hunter's computer, leading to Capitol Hill investigators starting a probe.
The Senate Homeland Security Committee is now investigating a hard drive brought forward by a whistleblower. An attorney for Rudy Giuliani tells Fox News a computer repairman came forward with a laptop and hard drive that he says belonged to Hunter Biden. He claims that it was dropped off at his shop and never picked up. Fox is told it had an estimated 40,000 emails, 1,000 text messages, and salacious photos and videos of the former vice president's son. Now, Senate investigators are working with the whistleblower to confirm the information. He is legally blind, uses a monocle to do his job, and cannot confirm it was Hunter who dropped off the laptop.
I saw stuff, and I was concerned. I was concerned that somebody might want to come looking for this stuff eventually, and I wanted it out of my shop.
And the stuff were images, or the stuff was text, emails?
A little bit of both.
Fox News has obtained an April 17, 2015 email. A source tells Fox it came from the computer in question. It is from Vadim Pazarsky, a senior official from the Ukrainian energy firm Burisma. He thanks Hunter Biden for inviting him to Washington and, quote, giving an opportunity to meet your father, and spent some time together when Joe Biden was vice president. The Biden campaign says it has reviewed Joe Biden's official schedules from the time, and no meeting ever took place. But this has been a very sensitive subject.
Do you think it was wrong for him to take that position?
No.
Knowing that it was really because that company wanted access to you?
Well, that's not true. You're saying things you do not know what you're talking about. No one said that. Who said that?
Who said that?
There's also a May 12, 2014 email from Pazarsky that mentions to Hunter Biden, quote, we urgently need your advice on how you could use your influence to convey a message, signal, etc., to stop what we consider to be politically motivated actions. At the time, Hunter Biden was reportedly being paid up to $50,000 per month by Burisma, while his father, the vice president, was the point man for the Obama administration on Ukraine.
I've never spoken with him.
Less than a year after that alleged 2014 meeting where Hunter evidently introduced Pazarsky to his father, a Ukrainian prosecutor was fired, something Joe Biden bragged about in 2018.
I looked, I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money.
Oh, son of a bitch. Got fired.
The Trump campaign notes the Biden campaign does not dispute the authenticity of the emails. Fox has reached out to Pizarski to ask if these are his emails, and we have not gotten a response. Brett?
To this, the social media reaction to this story really has been fascinating today and also highly controversial. Here's Fox News media analyst, host of Fox's Media Buzz, Howard Kurtz. Howie, this is quite something.
It is indeed, Brett. The details of today's New York Post story may be in dispute, but one thing is not. Two social media giants don't want you to see it. After the tabloid disclosed emails indicating a meeting between Biden's father and that energy executive in Ukraine, Facebook said it would limit the story's distribution while an outside fact checker reviewed it, which is done, quote, if we have signals that a piece of content is false. Now, Twitter is resorting to outright censorship, blocking its users from sharing the Post piece even through direct messages. The Post saying late today that Twitter has now locked its account by arguing that the paper has violated its rules against sharing hacked material. That's a quote. Now, this will fuel criticism by President Trump and many others that Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg and Twitter chief Jack Dorsey have acknowledged that their companies are accused of being biased against the right.
You can't censor hacked materials? That's an official policy? See, this is the issue here, right? I don't care about what Hunter Biden does. Hunter Biden does presumably what rich kids do, right? You know, they use their parents' influence to position themselves in circles that, you know, the rest of us aren't really privy to. But, you know, Hunter Biden went to Yale. Like he's not some random guy. He's had some issues. He's done some things, but you know, he was always going to be doing something, working for somebody because of his proximity to power. That's the game, okay? But that's not really what's going to swing this election here. I am, however, interested in this whole censorship thing because, you know, during the election, there was one guy running on technology, one guy talking about the power that these technology companies yielded, one guy talking about independent media and journalism and the power that these tech companies have to control the narrative. And then we've seen over the pandemic, over the last several months, you know, not being able to report alternate opinions and how that can be problematic, especially if the information that you're getting is coming from, you know, the trusted source, even though it's not official information or even though it doesn't really have trust with the people. Like social media companies are going to, they're going to have to be regulated. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, they are too big. They're too powerful. The idea that people are just going to withdraw themselves from social media is ridiculous. And their business model is to keep you entertained. I've watched, from the recommendation of many of you guys, I watched, The Social Dilemma just yesterday. Nothing that I heard in there was new, really. I think there was a Facebook video that was put out like several years ago, or some probably one of the guys who's involved in this, put out some little short YouTube video talking about how, you know, these executives, they don't let their kids use technology and, you know, the whole methodology behind these algorithms. And that was all I needed to know. Clearly, it would be problematic for a tech company to collect all this information on us and then be able to use it to create, to send us information, to create a world for us. I think they compared it to like the Truman Show. We're all living in our own individual Truman Show. So that's a problem because even though there's more information than ever, to this day, receiving less and less of that information. You're receiving a narrative that was crafted for you based on where you come from, who you know, what kind of things you search for. So unless you're going to find some way to manipulate the algorithm, you're always living in your own echo chamber. Like you really have to push yourself to get outside of, you know, what you're used to and search for other things. And even that, I think, there's still a part of the internet that you really don't have access to. You know what I mean? There's still a part of a narrative that it's really hard to find. Like I will consistently find myself searching for things and not being able to find an alternate opinion or additional sources or find something that, quite frankly, other people just know exists because it's presented to them. So this is all a problem And censorship is a big deal. Now, I haven't really heard Andrew Yang speak much about censorship as it pertains to issues like this. I actually just tweeted a bit ago wondering what Andrew Yang thinks. I'm hoping to get his opinion, because this is, again, the types of things I would like to see him inserting himself in. These are conversations that Joe Biden's not really talking about. I know the president's talked about, what is it, Section 1082, I don't know, Section 80, I don't know what it is. He's talking about doing some things related to censorship, but obviously, given the way the the Democrats are treating him currently, and the way this election is going for him, probably not going to really be able to make any more movement on that. But what is the future of this? What is the future of our narratives being controlled by these social media companies, and are we going to be able to do anything about it? Whether or not Hunter Biden is doing what he's doing, the issue is I want to at least be able to read that information and determine for myself if that's something that I need to be aware of, or at least be curious. Like, give me the information and let's find out. It takes too much for us to find out and verify all of this information. And then from the mainstream, there's only one narrative. So what is my choice? My choice is to accept your narrative, or and be happy. Ignorance is bliss, or just not know. And those aren't real choices. Like, we really have to do better. So, I appreciate the information on the Hunter Biden, but this is once again the media and these social media companies, reminding us that we can't trust our own news feed. We can't trust our own media. And again, for all the things that President Trump does wrong, calling out fake news and calling out these social media sites, makes him look good once again. I mean, listen, you can say what you want, but it reminds me